Okie dokie. I don't know how everything is, but this is definitely a beginning, and I just shook the fucking screen like crazy. Um, okay. So, here's the rundown. By the way, let's give it a sec. Let's wait until like 4:20 before anything happens, so I guess we can. Let's see. No drop frames so far, which is nice. Go to YouTube. And here. Let's do this. Okie dokie. Do. So here's a rundown. Basically, I did this very fun thing where I got in a car, had a seizure, almost died, woke up the next day in the ICU. Was told there was a brain mass, which I don't know about you, chat, but not very fun. And basically, I can't work right now. I was told, as far as like when I'm allowed to go back to work, my return date is literally just blank right now. So for the time being, this is going to be the single only like possible way that I am able to make any form of revenue or like currency. So if y'all guys want to follow, that would be optimal for my plans. Essentially my goals with streaming in general is going to be just running it essentially. I cover the news, I play video games, I do all the basic shit. So essentially you're just gonna see me having fun, going out. Well, not going out, at least not for the time being. There's a brain mass, so kind of not necessarily restricted at home, but for the time being, I spend a lot of my time at home. Um, I plan on, like I said, playing video games, covering the news. That's the plan today. I'm just going to be talking with y'all for a little bit, explaining what's going on with my situation, um, and then covering the news for today. As far as my politics, I'm a leftist. Don't know my theory. Haven't read any books. Just very, very formally towards the left. I will be discussing obviously what's going on all over the world. My goal with streaming is, even if this doesn't go anywhere, even if this doesn't do anything, I want to get into reporting, like live reporting. So this would be just something to add to my resume. So even if this doesn't do anything, even if this doesn't go anywhere, this would be the plan. I have them in. No, I didn't. They're in my right here. No, they're not it. Those are not my chicken nuggets. Oh shit. Yeah, sorry. No, I also live in a cooperative. I have a bunch of roommates. They will be pretty regular appearances, I'm imagining, given that I, with my living situation, because of my seizure, because of everything prior to it, which I can discuss later. I'm not gonna like trauma dump for the entire stream. My goal is just to like talk for first few minutes to like a couple like hour and a half. But basically what was happening prior was I was like, probably because of the brain mass, struggling with employment. I was, in and out of jobs, stuff like that, to where like I'm basically living on the couch right now, specifically that couch. y'all want the specifics. But yeah, the goal with it, like I said, is to just get it on my resume. Hopefully, if shit goes well, maybe make a little bit of money on the side, enough to help me not get kicked off that couch behind us. So that would be the goal. Um, so yeah, basically just talking, discussing the news. Um, so yeah. As far as what the plan is, my schedule wise, is I have a biopsy planned. I don't know exactly when it's scheduled. I was just told that it's something that I need to figure out what exactly is going on in my brain, like what's exactly on my mind. So that will be the best bet. Is just streaming. Once I get the biopsy, they'll tell me a little bit more about when I can start going to work, depending on if this is like cancerous versus non-cancerous, if it's actually a tumor compared to like literally just water. So it'll be a bunch of that, just figuring out what's going on. I have an appointment sometime next week or this week. That will be hopefully not delaying my stream schedule. My stream schedule is going to be Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays I stream. I have Fridays off. That'll be where I do a bunch of like editing, posting, stuff like that. And then Saturday, Sunday is when I do like full on just news days, to where I'm not doing any gaming, I'm not doing any like what I'm doing here, where I'm not really doing anything as far as the screen. I'm just talking to you guys, stuff like that. Just basically the rundown. Mondays I plan on having off as well, so Mondays, Fridays I'm not going to be streaming, and then every other day I plan on streaming. With me having potentially a brain tumor, the schedule is very, very subject to me being like, hey, I had something happen, not going to be able to stream today. I plan on posting that on all of my socials, like my YouTube socials. I'm gonna post on there, and then in addition, I'm gonna post on my Instagram. Plan on explaining that. Plan on posting it on my Instagram if anything happens, just explaining what happens if anything does. The only thing that I think will happen is an appointment. As far as my doctor said, I'm on some good medication right now, so I shouldn't be having any seizures. If they occur, clip it and ship it. Clip it and ship it, y'all. So yeah, basically, yeah, just schedule very, very up in the air. That's the schedule I want. Only Mondays, Fridays off, just editing on those days, stuff like that. That's the goal. Subject to change though. Things can happen. A lot of things can happen. So leaving that just there. Like I said, plan on covering the news, plan on talking politics, plan on just playing video games. As far as the video games I like playing, you're going to be seeing TFT pretty regularly. I stream. I'm thinking about doing like TFT Tuesdays, TFT Thursdays. Voice shattered. That's crazy. TFT Tuesdays, TFT Thursdays, to where I'm literally just playing the game for a couple of hours, then getting into the news. Also like a lot of Pokemon ROMs, stuff like that. Play Minecraft, play a whole bunch of shit. So you're gonna be seeing a bunch of everything. And then I also will cover the news when I have nothing else to cover. So yeah, that's gonna be that. And then yeah, let's just cover the news today. How I plan on covering the news. We're gonna be seeing it for this first stream. Very much. Oh, my shit's not updating on my screen. Huh. First stream, so you never know. Let's see. I'm gonna check and see if it's like not following on my other account. I'm checking my stream. Let's mute this. It looks like my stuff is frozen. Why is that the case? First stream, y'all. First stream. First stream, folks. First stream. Why is that doing that? Aw. Well, that's not good. First stream screen frozen. Well, adding a new one work. Screen capture. Okay, y'all. So, alrighty. Guess we're gonna be doing this rule. Why is it frozen again? A lot of questions to be had. A lot of questions to be had. My screen's currently frozen. This may be a lot shorter stream than I was wanting. Screen's frozen. Okay. Damn, it's also frozen on my stream. Okay. Well. Okay. Let's see what I can do here. Why isn't it? It's so strange. That's so strange. Huh. Well. Oh, I also didn't record. First stream, huh? Well. That's not good. Okay. Okay. Is this updated now? Yes. Yes. Okay, my mouse moved. Here, let me. We're back, folks. Oh, that was scary. That was very scary, y'all. Very scary. Okay. So basically, the rundown for how I'm gonna do this. I'm obviously showing this like pre-steps beforehand today, but goal very simple. We check the news. We go on politics. And then boom, as of 22 minutes ago, we got this. Trump's federal law enforcement crackdown ripples through DC neighborhoods. President Donald Trump's decision to increase federal law enforcement and immigration agents in Washington, D.C. has impacted neighborhoods like Columbia Heights. Okay. Live. Well, this might. Hey, chat. Hey, y'all. Oh.
Despite some intense meetings at the White House, we're still a long way from peace with the Russia-Ukraine war. What we saw recently was European leaders and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky visit President Trump at the White House, trying to hash out a framework for negotiations with Russia to end the war. Ukraine wants security guarantees to prevent future Russian aggression, and Trump wants to end the war as soon as possible. This has raised a lot of questions about what the next steps would actually look like to actually resolving this conflict that's dragged on for years. Who will provide the security guarantees? What will they look like? Will they involve soldiers in Ukraine instead of a peacekeeping force? Would there be something kind of like NATO, where an attack on one is an attack on all? All these are really open questions right now. But figuring these things out will be key before the potential next step, which is Zelensky meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. And potentially that meeting will be a trilateral meeting with President Trump as well. But what everybody's willing to accept here is going to be very tricky. Russia wants to keep the.
It's still so fucking crazy they pulled the red carpet out for Putin. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the fucking clips online where they're talking about like Putin pulling the remote out because Trump fucking was walking in a straight line and then just yeah, still so fucking crazy.
Land that it seized from Ukraine during this war, and Russia tends to feel like time is on its side. It doesn't need to reach a deal immediately. It's making slow but steady progress on the front lines. Putin does not want a ceasefire at a time when he is making that progress militarily. And of course, Zelensky does not want to give up the land that has been taken from his country by.
So Putin's made it very obvious he has no intention of a ceasefire, right? Like, that's the basics of this. And Trump pulled out the red carpet, brought him in this, flew him out, pulled out the red carpet, sat next to him in the SUV, had the whole shebang. Don't even know what they were doing in that SUV. And then he says no to troops in Ukraine. What's his intention? Very, very simple questions to be asked. Like, well, what's the intention, folks? So yeah, let's keep reading. President Trump on Tuesday offered his assurances that the U.S. troops would not be sent to Ukraine to defend against Russia, after seeming to leave open the possibility the day before. So basically, he's pulling the, well, I could, but I'm not. What's that about, y'all? What's that about? After seeming to leave open the possibility, Trump also said in a morning TV interview that Ukraine's hopes of joining NATO and regaining the Crimean Peninsula are impossible. So basically, Trump's telling Ukraine, fuck you, Ukraine. And it's insane. We're surely in at least a relatively interesting time. Details of the security guarantees and Trump's efforts to rearrange peace talks continue to evolve after the US president, Ukrainian president, and other European leaders held hours of talks at the White House aimed at ending Russia's war on Ukraine. European leaders said they want US support for robust security guarantees, including the deployment of a reassurance force, as Trump pursues his campaign promise to end the grinding war. So how, as Trump pursues his campaign promise to end the grinding war, how are we ending the war here, guys? Because right now, Putin's made it very apparent he does not want the war to end. Trump straight up said joining NATO and regaining the peninsula that they're going to war for, impossible. Had hours to talk, trying to end the war. But not once did Trump agree to sending defensive troops or trying to, stop the military campaign. Huh. Trump spoke with Putin by phone, spoke with the Ukrainian Russian leader, not the Ukrainian leader. NATO trepidation from Europe. Many in Europe worry that Trump is pressing Ukraine to make concessions that will only further embolden Putin. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said that if Russia is not playing ball on direct talks with Ukraine, the United States plus Europe will do more when it comes to tariffs and sanctions on Moscow. NATO-like security guarantees. Trump stopped short of committing U.S. troops to a collective effort to bolster Ukraine's security. He said instead that there would be a NATO-like security presence and that all those details would be hashed out with EU leaders. NATO itself is underpinned by political commitment by all members by all member countries. Fun fact, chat. Brain mass on the language and time part of my brain. So if I'm not reading perfectly, I'm sorry, guys. Might stutter my words a little bit. Might miss a word. Might also, fucking just it's a possibility. NATO itself is underpinned by a political commitment to all members countries to come back to the aid of any member whose sovereignty or territory might be under attack, which is very, very much the reason why, the Palestinian territories have not been entered into the UN or NATO. It's very much because they do not want to have to protect these territories. They want these territories to be allowed to just be turned to rubble. They want these territories to they don't want the responsibility of protecting these countries, which, why sign up for NATO? Why sign, at that point, why sign up? If you don't want to protect the countries and you just want to join for the benefits, don't sign up. This is very simple. It's how the world works. Other news we're following: Trump vows to change U.S. election system. We already know about this. Well, I guess I haven't covered it, so we could talk about this. But let's look at the other headlines. Okay. Trump amplifies his attacks on the Smithsonian. What's this one about? On Tuesday, Trump posted on social Truth that they were out of control for emphasizing the negative parts of American history, including how bad slavery was. Okay, folks. So, yeah, straight up, Trump, hey, out of control for emphasizing the negative parts of American history, including how bad slavery was. That y'all's president? Is that y'all's president, guys? Is that about how bad slavery was? Fucking, Trump, who has been at odds with various cultural institutions since returning to office in January, added that he had instructed his attorneys to begin the exact same process he had used against colleges and universities. The White House has withheld funding from Harvard, Columbia's University, and other schools, and made various demands from more control over student admissions to banning trans athletes from women's sports. So in two paragraphs, we're 2 paragraphs in, guys. We've got straight up him saying, why y'all say him trying to remove slavery history, like just straight up trying to remove slavery from history. And then additionally, him trying to ban trans people and like trying to control student admissions. So we got slavery erasure, we got education erasure, and we got trans erasure. 2 paragraphs in, guys. Let's see where the rest of this goes. The Trump administration in March issued an executive order calling for the Smithsonian to overhaul its collections and present a more celebratory view of the country. The order has been denounced by historians and others. Oh, okay. The order has been denounced by historians and others as an attempt to censor the past. That's exactly what it is. Like, chat, we're at the stage where we're censoring the past. We're just at the point where we are having our history books erased. It's just, we're in those times. It's going there. Let's see. Nah. Let's see what the news is looking like on YouTube. Oh yeah, there's a hurricane. Oh, yeah, guys, there's a fucking category 5 hurricane.
You're looking at it right there, the brand new advisory from the National Hurricane.
Oh, we are not watching Fox weather, folks. That is not occurring. North Carolina declares state of emergency is crazy. Winds and potential to strike. What? Winds and potential to strike. Okay. Two hours ago, Putin agrees to meeting with Zelensky after call from Trump. Oh.
What we've witnessed President Trump accomplish over the last few days has been nothing short of remarkable. We are now 3.5 years into the war between Russia and Ukraine, a brutal conflict that has claimed hundreds of thousands of Russian and Ukrainian lives and cost trillions of dollars. The weakness and incompetence of Joe Biden foolishly allowed the killing to start in the first place. Until President Trump returned to office in January, the bloody and broken Biden status quo was to endlessly force American taxpayers to fund Ukraine no matter the cost, no matter
Or genuinely speechless. I mean, it could be other reasons, but you know, we're the conservatives are defending fucking Russia. When did we get here? When did we get here?
how long it takes, and no matter how many lives were lost. There is no denying that Biden's America Last foreign policy moved the world further away from peace. President Trump rejected that failed approach, and instead, over the last 7 months, has relentlessly pursued peace throughout his second term. And thanks to President Trump's efforts, we finally have movement after years of deadly gridlock. On Friday, as you all know, many of you were there, President Trump hosted Russian President Vladimir Putin in Anchorage, Alaska for a bilateral meeting.
Like, at what point do we look at these images and just go, yep, it's like, we know these are going in history books. Like, these images are going in history books. Like, we cannot deny that simple fact of the matter. At what point do we look at these images and go, we are the bad guys? Like, we're in a red carpet with Putin, have all of our fucking random fucking soldiers, have a fucking $1 billion jet behind them. Like, at what point?
Meeting. This was the first time President Putin has been to the United States since 2015, and the first time he has met with an American president in years. President Putin publicly confirmed what President Trump has said all along. The war between Russia and Ukraine never would have started in the first place if President Trump were in office. This was always obvious to any person with a shred of common sense. Just look at what took place during the last 4 administrations. Under George W. Bush, Russia invaded Georgia. Under Barack Obama, Russia took Crimea. Under Joe Biden, Russia invaded Ukraine. But under President Trump, Russia did not invade nor take anything.
Yeah, they're continuing to take Ukraine. Like, yeah, because when he joined, they were actively at war. They are actively taking Ukraine. Like, yeah, no wonder they didn't take any. They're actively taking Ukraine. It's just very simply a lie. The Russia did not invade nor take anything. They are actively invading Ukraine. To the point where Russia said getting back, or to the point where Trump said getting back the territory that Russia has stolen from Ukraine is, and we just saw earlier on stream, quote, impossible.
President Trump is the only president this century, Republican or Democrat, who has held Russia in check and ensured peace in Europe. That's because Russia has always greatly respected President Trump and his peace through strength foreign policy approach. But overall, the bilateral talks in Alaska were very productive, and multiple key points were agreed to between the two leaders that truly opened up the door for Phase 2 discussions, which took place yesterday here at the White House, within 48 hours of that meeting in Anchorage, I may add. As you all know, there were many European leaders here, as well as Ukrainian President Zelensky. They all traveled here to meet with President Trump to maintain the momentum and work toward
how's audio,
lasting
by the way,
peace.
Guys?
Across the board.
I don't even know if I have any viewers, so, but we'll see.
Every leader credited President Trump for his decisive leadership that has reignited the dialogue in hopes of finally bringing this war to a peaceful conclusion. Two quotes in particular capture the progress that was made and the optimism moving forward. Finnish President Alexander Stubb said, "I think in the past 2 weeks, we've probably had more progress in ending this war than we have had in the past 3.5 years. Again, that is the president of Finland, a country that shares a border with Russia. That's what we call the President Trump effect. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte.
That's what we call the President Trump effect. Us telling Ukraine that them getting their shit back is impossible and that they cannot get defense. And then in addition, having Putin on a red carpet with Trump holding hands, going in a van together. Like, that's what y'all want to call the Trump effect.
Also summed it up well. Without President Trump, this deadlock with Putin would not have been broken. He is the only one who could do this. Following the encouraging conversations yesterday, President Trump spoke with President Putin by phone, and he agreed to begin the next phase of the peace process, a meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky, which would be followed, if necessary, by a trilateral meeting between President Putin, President Zelensky, and President Trump. As the president,
I'm imagining that meeting going fucking horribly. A trilateral meeting between Putin, Trump, and Zelensky. Zelensky's gonna be like, "Hey, can I have my land back?" And both of them at the same time are just gonna say no. Like, and then what is this peace agreement? In what universe do they reach peace with the current status of the situation? A lot of questions to be had, especially with Trump's, ideals on the situation. Where does he stand? Because so far the only thing we've seen him do is hold hands with Putin and run down a red carpet after Putin pressed the button. So we'll see.
The president said Vice President Vance, Secretary Rubio, and Special Envoy Witkoff will continue to coordinate with Russia and Ukraine to make this happen as soon as possible. It's very important to remember that before President Trump's landslide victory last November, there was no end in sight to this bloodshed.
Wasn't it like
now
a few
there may
percent?
finally be light at the end of the tunnel
no.
and an opportunity for lasting peace.
That might be on me.
That's because President Trump is the peace president, and American leadership is back on the world stage.
Okay. Let's go back. Look at some more news real fast. World news. Okay, this is cool.
Today, the Air
Leftist
Canada
news.
strike is over after reaching a tentative agreement. Around 10,000 flight attendants were on strike since Saturday, demanding higher wages and to be paid when planes are grounded. Now, Air Canada has offered a 38% increase in pay over 4 years.
Good shit. Air Canada's offered a 38% increase in pay over 4 years. Hell yeah, big dub for Air Canada.
And an hourly raise of 12 to 16% in the first year of the contract. Union leaders say they plan to continue to fight for a solution.
If it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, then so be it. We're looking for a solution here.
That should be the correct approach. Like, so many people talk about how they need higher wages and shit. Like, let's go back to this guy.
To fight for a solution.
If it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it.
Very important. He is saying that he's ready to protest. He's ready to actually, tell these people, I need more money. I need to be able to pay my bills. I need to be able to, you know, keep a roof over my head. I need to be able to pay my medical expenses. I need to be able to do this, do that. I need to be able to, well, in Canada, they don't fucking have medical expenses. So,
if it means our union being fined, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, jail,
For a solution.
so be it. If it means folks like me going to jail, then so be it. If it means our union being fined, then so be it. We're looking for a solution here.
The strike canceled thousands of flights and stranded passengers.
that's just how it always should be handled, the correct approach. They need to, if they're willing to fight for it, they deserve it. And if it's, you know.
With one Air Canada flight canceled right here in Austin. There has not been any details on a final agreement, but union members will still need to vote on it before the deal becomes permanent.
Okay. It's a really cool update. I'm glad to hear that Air Canada is doing better and that they, you know, reached an agreement. Not reacting to Houston public media. Oh shit, China and India reconciliation.
Mounting US sanctions
That's cool.
are pushing old rivals in Asia to reconsider their differences. On August 19th, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi to discuss tensions over the disputed Ladakh border. The move signals a shift towards diplomacy after years of hostility, including deadly clashes in 2020 that killed 20 Indian and 4 Chinese soldiers. Wang, already in talks with India's foreign and security chiefs, said the past setbacks weren't in the people's interest and welcomed growing border stability.
It's good. We got, you know, border stability going between China and India, something that's been, you know, historically an issue. So glad to see that that's going back.
Ladakh remains a flashpoint due to unclear territorial boundaries stemming from colonial-era maps. Both nations continue to heavily invest in military infrastructure along the border, but shared economic pressure may be forcing a thaw. Wang subtly criticized the US, saying both India and China have suffered from unilateral bullying, a nod to President Trump's aggressive trade tactics.
They describe it as unilateral bullying from Trump. Fucking crazy.
India, too, is facing penalties from Washington over oil trade with Russia. Meanwhile, regional dynamics are shifting. China balances ties with both India and Pakistan, even as Pakistan moves closer to the US. Beijing insists its outreach to India does not change its relationship with Islamabad, urging peaceful solutions between its two key neighbors.
Okay. Cool update. Cool update overall with that. Ooh, this is a really good update as well. Hamas officially agreeing to a ceasefire proposal. I do want to see what the ceasefire proposal was, though. It's very important. As far as I know, the Israeli government has already stated that they do not have any intentions of reacting to the ceasefire at all. Yeah, see, like Channel 4 headlines already, yeah.
That proposal from Qatari and Egyptian mediators is based on 2 phases. Hamas would release the remaining hostages in 2 phases during a 60-day ceasefire. And during that ceasefire, negotiations would begin for a permanent end to the war. Now, in terms of how significant this is, we have been...
So, this is significant. For the past multiple ceasefire proposals, the significance of a permanent ceasefire has been the primary objective of Hamas. In the initial ceasefire, I believe on October 9th or some shit, they said they wanted a permanent ceasefire. They said they wanted, they would do basically whatever the fuck to just ensure a permanent ceasefire. No more bombing children, essentially. Stop bombing our kids. And for the past 2 years, Israel said no. So this is, once again, it looks like last time Israel negotiated this proposal to where it said no permanent ceasefire, and then that's when Hamas said no, we want the permanent ceasefire, so they renegotiated, and then Israel left the table. So it's really important for us to look and see how this continues to play out.
For a permanent end to the war. Now, in terms of how significant this is, we have been here before, of course. If this proposal sounds familiar, it's because it's based on a similar plan by the US envoy Steve Witkoff back in June, but those talks later collapsed. And since then, Israel hardens its stance, saying that they would only agree to a deal in which all of the hostages were released in one go, and other conditions, including that Hamas disarms. And it seems this evening that their position hasn't changed, according to an official quoted in the Israeli media. Benjamin Netanyahu was asked about this in the last hour or so. He didn't comment directly, but have a listen to what he did say.
I spoke with the Minister of Defence and the Chief of Staff about our plans for Gaza City and the completion of our missions. And like you, I hear the reports in the media. And from them, you get one impression. Hamas is under massive pressure.
I'm gonna be real on this one. I don't believe, I mean, Hamas obviously is under massive pressure, like from what we've seen, you know, the bombing campaigns, you know, the genocide for the past 2 years, you know, as of like last night, multiple children starving to death. Multiple families being bombed, multiple people, like I believe this yesterday was like one of the first times there were like high double digits in starvation and shit like that. So yeah, like sure they're getting pressure, but as far as like political pressure, it's Israel. Israel's the one that's like being told, hey, stop bombing children. And I think that's pretty important. Pretty important, guys.
And Darshana, it looks as if plans to occupy the whole of Gaza City, which had not been occupied before, are now actually going ahead.
This is very important as well. Israel wanting to occupy Gaza City. Yeah, that's not good. With the occupation of Gaza City, basically Gaza would go to Israel. It would become annexed, very similar to what we saw in the past with like the Americans and the indigenous population here. Or, well, I guess we weren't Americans at that point. The colonizers against the indigenous population here. And yeah, it's very sad, and yeah, it's something that if this continues, and especially if this succeeds, it would be incredibly sad for history and the world in general.
Yeah, even as we got news of Hamas accepting this deal, Israeli tanks rolled over the border into Gaza. It's a show of strength and a significant escalation over its plans to conquer.
Like, even as they are announcing the proposal of the ceasefire, Israel, in a show of strength, is sending tanks across the border into Gaza as a show of, like, you know, significant show of strength, and as these fucking captions, significant escalation.
Conquer Gaza City. They say this is the quickest way to end the war and to defeat Hamas. They've already started a bombing campaign there, and it's prompted thousands of Palestinians to have to forcibly flee their homes. Over 1 million residents were sheltering in Gaza City. They had already fled from other areas. Now they're being forced to leave again, and they're asking.
Keep in mind, when the genocide started, I believe the total number was like 2.1, 2.3 million. So keep in mind, it's now over 1 million, which it was over 2 million. Think about that. Think about the math. Think about what we're seeing. How'd that happen?
Where to? Where should we be going to? In response, the Israeli government has said that they'll provide them with tents. It's something that's prompted huge international criticism, but also criticism here internally in Israel. Yesterday, we saw a general strike, a day of action across this country. Incredible scenes. We saw hundreds of thousands of people taking to the streets to protest against the government's plans. They were calling for an immediate end to the war and for a deal that returns all of the hostages. So far, the government seems intent on ignoring them. In fact, Netanyahu prompted criticism by suggesting that those who had taken to the streets to protest had enabled Hamas.
Yeah. So it's important to keep in mind that right now, while I don't completely agree with this notion, there are a lot of the people in Israel that are not trying to protest in order to actually stop the genocide. They are, like they had said, trying to release the hostages. The hostages are the priority to a good number. I'm not going to do what a lot of these streamers have been doing and saying that all the Israelis are just like wanting, because there's a lot of Israelis that are like very passionate about freeing, well, I guess freeing the hostages as well, but the Palestinian cause and everything. So like I will concede to that notion. However, there are a good number of these people that are on these streets only for the hostages, only trying to release the hostages, only trying to get Israel to potentially even go harder to release these hostages. So like a lot of these people don't care about Palestine, unfortunately, but a good number of them do, enough to where I think that it's incredibly important to keep these people, you know, keeping an eye on them, making sure that they're safe, you know, looking out, well, not looking out for them, but you know, just, you know, keeping an eye on the history of this, because this is history, whether you want to accept it or not. This is history. We are in history as we speak. And yeah, we're seeing people take to the streets, and we really got to figure out, you know, what are they on the streets for? A lot of them are there for the Palestinian cause, but what is the other cause other than like the hostages? You know, what else are these people here for?
He may be feeling emboldened by Donald Trump's apparent support today for his Gaza plan. The US president wrote on social media, "We will only see the return of the remaining hostages when Hamas is confronted and destroyed. The sooner this takes place," he said, "the better the chances of success will be."
So under all metrics of the term, Hamas and most of the Palestinian territory has been utterly destroyed. Like, when have we heard headlines recently of Israeli soldiers being attacked, or like Hamas attacking Israel? When have we last seen those headlines? It's very much a situation where they are just bombing, and they are telling them basically to like give up. I don't know the TOS term. They're telling them to give up, telling them to stop, and they are saying stop what? And they're like, no, I don't think you understand. Stop. Which, like, how? Like, what the fuck else is Hamas supposed to do other than like telling them please stop bombing our children, and Israel saying stop? And then them going, stop fucking what? And then them stop. Like.
Darshan in Tel Aviv, thank you very much indeed. Well, earlier I spoke to Oren Marmorstein, a spokesperson for Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I asked what he made of news that Hamas had agreed to a ceasefire plan.
So I'm not familiar with the details of this recent report that you've mentioned, but I can share with you and with the audience what recent
What the fuck? I'm not familiar with the reports of this, or with the details of this recent report. He is the spokesperson for the Israeli Minister of Foreign Affairs. They don't give a fuck about what like politically is going on as far as Hamas and everything, because the news that Hamas has announced a ceasefire has been at least a couple of hours now, multiple hours. So like, and this video within itself is, okay, I guess a day ago, so maybe it's new enough to where, or maybe it's old enough to where the guy maybe didn't, or new enough or whatever. But still, like, as the fucking spokesperson for the like as the spokesperson for the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, it should be like, as soon as it's fucking there, it should be on his table. So like, they just don't care. They just don't give a fuck.
report that you've mentioned, but I can share with you and with the audience what we know so far. First, about Israel. We want to end this war.
No, they don't. They simply do not. They very, very simply do not. Every single time Hamas has proposed a ceasefire, where they've even agreed to a permanent ceasefire proposal, they've agreed to release all the hostages, they've agreed to fucking everything, and Israel still says no. They don't want to end this war.
We are very clear about this. And we said yes.
But you've just voted to extend it.
No. We said yes to every proposal that was put on the table by the American mediator, Steve Witkoff, and we said yes time and again. But Hamas?
They haven't. It's getting to the point to where the fucking, even the press people, like even the people on TV are like, hey, no you didn't. Like, we're there. We're simply there. To where these people are very blatantly lying on screen. We're simply there to where these people are very, very fucking blatantly lying on screen, telling you, no, that's not the truth. Here's the truth, while actively lying. And then getting to the point to where journalists are saying, hey, no, you're lying. The reporters are like, no, you just voted to extend it. And then they're like, no, you're lying. And then we're getting to a point to where it's literally just Big Brother. Like, no, Big Brother said this. Believe it. I'm telling you this is what happened. Even though, you know, damn near like thousands of articles have came out telling you that something else has happened. No, this is what happened. And then guess what? We have tens of millions of Americans that go, oh yeah, fake news. This guy's was telling you the truth. These journalists are lying to you. Like, welcome to fucking America, man.
Doesn't want a deal. Kept refusing and basically spreading a smoke screen, not coming to the table.
They didn't refuse. They proposed it. And then only refused when you removed the permanent ceasefire part of the agreement.
And not agreeing to release the hostages and to have a ceasefire.
But they have just hold on a second, they've just agreed to release 10 living hostages in return for a 60-day ceasefire. This is what is on the wires. I'm not doubting it, and I don't think you'll be doubting it either. The question is whether you would accept it or not. I mean, I tell you who would love to see that deal accepted, and that is the tens of thousands of people on the streets of Tel Aviv demonstrating against your cabinet's latest decision to continue the war.
So
we're watching it. We're watching it live. The journalist is actively telling you, hey, that this is not the case. They are actively proposing to return some of the hostages, in addition to continuing a ceasefire proposal, in addition to like the ceasefire discussions. And you are not only ignoring them, you are also ignoring the tens of thousands of Israelis that have taken the streets to protest. That is what we're watching right now. And let's see the response. I'm going to tell you with like 85-90% confidence, he is about to say that's not the case.
First, in terms of doubt, yes, I am doubting it. I think you should doubt it. I think the audience should doubt everything that comes out of Hamas, because those are terrorists. And you know what? Just to share with the audience, the recent statement, very clear, coming from the President of the United States, Trump, saying very clearly that the only way that the hostages will come back is when the Hamas is destroyed. This is not spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Israel.
No, it literally is. Like, we're getting to the point where the guy is literally saying, hey, it'd be like me going, hi, my name is not Zachary Johnson. I'm not streaming right now. This is not a red mic. I'm not streaming on a bum-ass, like, setup right now. I'm not set up on a laptop. That's simply not the case. That's just not. I don't own sunglasses.
This is the President of the United States saying Hamas is not willing to have an agreement, and not willing to have a ceasefire.
All right, what about the huge demonstrations on the streets of Tel Aviv against the war? What about the fact that two of your former prime ministers are dead set against continuing the war? What about the fact that the current head of the IDF, the man who's supposed to make this happen in Gaza, he doesn't like this plan either? As well well as dozens of former security chiefs, intelligence chiefs, military chiefs. I mean, the entire military intelligence establishment, as far as we can tell, of Israel is against this idea. So why are you doing it?
All those demonstrations, all those demonstrators want one thing. They want to see our hostages coming back home. All of us. You know what, Matt? Myself.
A significant amount of them, might I add. A significant amount of them also want to see y'all stop bombing children. It's very much like the protests and the demonstrations we're seeing in America. We want to see children stop being bombed. We are tired of seeing children on our screens that are being starved to death, that are being bombed, that are being shot, that are being various other things. We're tired of it. We're taking the streets. And y'all are telling us, no, they actually are on our side. Big Brother says they're on our side.
As a spokesperson of the ministry, as an individual, I want to see the hostages coming back right now. The only problem is we are not negotiating with ourselves.
But yeah, but hang on, but sorry to interrupt you. There were large numbers of hostages released after a deal was done, between you and Hamas via the Qataris and the Americans, quite some time ago now. We saw, hundreds of hostages, more than 100 hostages released. But there has to be a deal.
Very important point. There has to be a fucking deal. You can't just demand the release of hostages after bombing and also taking hostages of your own. Like, there are like tens of thousands of Palestinian prisoners right now that are very much hostages. There has to be a deal. And we are not meeting a deal right now. You're very simply saying, hey, release these hostages. And we are like, we're offering to release them. And then y'all say, no, stop. And then they're like, stop what? And y'all go, stop.
Has to be a deal. And for a deal, you need two to tango. Right now, Israel has said yes to every proposal that was.
Very simply not the case. Also muted on accident. Very simply not the case. You did not say yes to every proposal that was on the table. There has very, very openly been no upon no upon no upon no upon no. Like, we're watching Big Brother.
This is not me speaking. This is the United States of America. This is Steve Witkoff saying. This is the president of the United States saying Hamas is not willing to budge. So if you have one side that is willing to have a negotiation, one side that is willing to have...
The single only negotiation point that I have seen Hamas actively fight Israel on has been the concept of a permanent ceasefire. Hamas has been again and again proposing a permanent ceasefire agreement. They have said, we will do everything you ask of us as long as there is a permanent ceasefire. And every single time, Israel says no. Hamas has agreed to everything. The only thing they are requesting is a permanent ceasefire. Once again, Israel has told them no. If it takes two to tango, who's fucking up the dance?
A ceasefire. One side that is saying yes to a proposal, and the other side is keep saying no, or spreading this smoke screen. What other option do you have?
There was also a deal on the table at the beginning of the year. That seemed to work quite well.
No.
And then they went along with the deal, and then you broke the ceasefire. Israel broke the ceasefire.
We did not break the ceasefire.
Again, in the interest of time, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
We're watching. What are we watching, guys? Chat. Have y'all read 1984?
Let's not go there. We haven't got enough time for this. You broke the ceasefire. The ceasefire's been broken. You then, introduced the policy of starvation on Gaza, and we know how that ended as well. And that is getting slightly better, but it's still not good enough.
Let me answer this. First, we did not break the
starvation on Gaza, and we know how that ended as well. And that is getting slightly better.
No. that is getting slightly better. They are dropping pallets on people. We are dropping pallets on people. We see a tent, or I guess we is not the correct term. They see a tent, the Israelis, the IDF, they drop a pallet on it. Guys, I don't know about y'all. That's not slightly better. Using food as weapons, and also it's been very well documented that the food that was like sent and like the aid that was sent was like contaminated, if not expired, and like far expired. I believe some were like over a year old, like a year past the expiration date. It's not getting better.
It's still not good enough.
Let me answer this. First, we did not break the ceasefire. Hamas did. Second, there is no starvation policy in Gaza.
There is no starvation policy. They're being... it's laughable. It's literally just comical, like, to the extent of the absurdity of their lies. There's no starvation policy in Gaza, as we are seeing, like, multiple cases, like, nearing the 100 a day. Where it's getting bad. It's getting very awful.
Full stop. Full stop.
Oren Marmorstein, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Now, the Home Office has authorised the medical evacuation of up to 50 critically ill or injured children from Gaza.
50 critically ill children. Keep in mind, 65% of the, I believe it's anywhere from like 62 to 65 of the like Palestinian population are children. They just talked about how there is a starvation campaign along with them. Still, keep in mind, throughout that entire argument, not once did they mention the genocide. Like, they brought up that they wanted to release the hostages, and they're talking about releasing hostages. They're not talking about the fucking genocide. 50. Also, where would be a good spot for this? Can I move this? Like, oh no, I can't move that here. That's weird as shit. Okay, I guess we'll put this back here. Yeah. 50 children. Out of, what, 65% of initially over 2 million, but now over 1 million. What's 65% of that? 50 children being evacuated.
Gaza to the UK for treatment in the coming weeks. It follows lobbying by 96 cross-party...
Yeah, keep in mind, this is over multiple weeks. This will be over the coming weeks. 50 children will be brought back. There will probably be more children that will starve to death within the time period of these 50 children being medically evacuated. And there's also a very high chance of the people getting medically evacuating just straight up dying before they get here. Like, there's been a lot of cases recently of them being brought through via medical evacuation for starvation cases, and a lot of the people that are here are past the point of return for starvation. I didn't know that was a thing until recently. Welcome to modern history.
MPs. UNICEF says more than 50,000 children have been killed or injured in the war in Gaza, and other countries like Italy and Spain have already taken in both children and adults. Well, earlier I spoke to Omar Din from Project Pure Hope, which has brought 3 children to the UK privately. He began by telling me he's happy the UK is taking in acutely ill children, but says we need to do more and do it faster.
And we should have done this a lot sooner. We'd like to see the government now move at pace and scale.
There we go.
A few weeks sounds too far away. Every single day, there are at least 30 children who die in Gaza. This is statistics that we know from UNICEF and the World Health Organization. So every single day is really, really causing more avoidable.
Every day, almost more children that'll be coming in to get medically evacuated. More children will starve to death almost every single fucking day. almost as many children, or I guess the better verbiage is almost as many children will starve to death every day than the amount of children that will get medically evacuated over the next multiple weeks.
Deaths.
The US have stopped accepting visas from Gaza. Germany potentially looking into this too. Is there a danger that this...
We beat Germany to the punch on like fascism and genocide. Who won Man of the Year of 1938, by the way?
Scheme could face the same fate, and are you worried about a backlash?
I truly hope not. I mean, we don't see any of the dangers or any of the risks associated with what is being spoken about in some of those other countries. I mean, just to give you a sense of how these patients and their families are assessed prior to even boarding a flight, prior to even leaving Gaza, they have assessments by the Israeli authorities, COGAT. And these are security assessments as well as the clinical assessment. The Ministry of Health in Palestine, the Ministry of Health in the country which they will be stopping at before they get to the UK, and that's either Jordan or Egypt. So you've got 5 or 6 either nations or very, very advanced agencies involved in these security assessments. So I really, really hope that we don't succumb to the fear that is being stoked in some of these other countries, and that we stand steadfast in the proud tradition that we have in the UK of delivering humanitarian assistance to the most needing in our society.
Because the other countries, like the United States, Germany, and a few other countries to follow, have denied. We are already at the stage to where not only are we lying about the genocide, we are saying that we are not committing a genocide, we are saying there is no starvation campaign, we are saying there is no policy of starvation, we are saying that things are getting better because we're starting to drop pallets of food on children, pallets of expired food, might I add. So
other commentary that you might have seen is some people saying, look, the NHS has got its own problems, they've got waiting lists, particularly with children. What do you say when you hear some of those concerns about more children coming in to our system?
So to start with, we're only talking about a very small number, between 30 to 50 children, which is what we suggested to the government from the beginning. So we're pleased to see that they've taken that kind of range.
Once again, we are talking about the aid being given to 30 to 50 children. They just said over the past 2 years, 50,000 is the estimate.
And that's what they're working with. Secondly, as healthcare professionals, we're used to scaling up our services. So it's not as simple as another child comes into the system and a child who's on a list gets bumped off. It doesn't work that way. We expand our services. So we're not really blocking up the system at all. We did exactly the same thing for the Ukraine scheme, and actually the numbers were far larger. We've done the same in many refugee situations.
Yeah. Keep in mind, like 5 years ago, or around 5 years ago, whenever the Russia conflict with Ukraine began, we were helping thousands. We were helping far, far more. And we were open hands. We were given that shit. We were like, if we couldn't give it fast enough, we were ashamed of ourselves, essentially. And now, 50 children literally starving to death. Skin and bone children. And they're going, you're blocking it up. You're blocking. You're wasting our time. What? And then America has already gotten to the point to where they're saying these children are not allowed. These 50 children that are skin and bone out of the 50,000 that have died of children, and then in addition to the genocide and in addition to everything else, y'all just aren't allowed in the United States.
And crisis situations across the world. The UK is one of the most experienced countries in the world at dealing with these types of situations.
And just finally, you touched on that point that historically the British government have done this. We did this with Malala Yousafzai, the Ukraine example that you gave. If you look at what's going on with Gaza right now, are we, the UK, taking our fair share of medical evacuees?
Well, I gave the example of Italy. And if you consider we're not very different nations in terms of scale, capability, the UK, if anything, is a bit more advanced than Italy when it comes to our medical expertise and our ability to scale. So if we just draw on that as a comparison, almost 600 people have arrived in Italy in the past few months, of which around 200 are injured children who required medical treatment. In the UK, we've got 3. So, yeah, we're not.
Listen to what the man's saying. In the UK, we have 3 critically ill children, or critically injured, or I guess not even technically critically injured children, just injured children that have been evacuated to the UK. 3 children. They are trying to get 30 to 50 children. Italy has gotten, I believe they said 200? Yeah, 200 children. 50,000 people, 50,000 children have died already in the last 2 years. And we are at the stage of the genocide where significantly more people are dying. They said there are 50, I believe anywhere, they said 30 to 50 children dying every single day. Or, my bad, they said the numbers were 30 children, or 30 people dying every single day from starvation and bombing. Like,
Not quite there yet, but we're on our way.
Omar Din from Project Pure Hope, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
So yeah, that is that conflict. They finally accepted this, Hamas has accepted the ceasefire plan, but as we just saw from that video, it is very, very likely that unfortunately Israel is not going to agree to any of it, which is very sad to see, very unfortunate. But that's about it for that. So yeah, let's see, let's look at more news. I gotta use the restroom anyway. Here, I'll be back in a little bit. PBS NewsHour.
From guidance established under U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., which doesn't recommend shots for healthy kids of any age. Instead, the administration says kids can get the shots in consultation with their doctors. The State Department has reportedly canceled more than 6,000 student visas. As first reported by Fox News, around 4,000 were pulled because of crimes including assault, driving under the influence, and burglary. As many as 300 visas were revoked over what an official called support for terrorism, though no further details were provided. The cancellations represent just a fraction of the more than 1 million foreign students who study at American colleges and universities. But they are the latest example of the Trump administration's tough approach towards student visas as part of its broader immigration crackdown. Nebraska's governor and the Department of Homeland Security announced plans today to open an immigration detention center in a farming area in the state's southwest corner. Dubbed Cornhusker Clink, officials say the former inmate work camp will provide up to 280 beds for ICE detainees. The announcement follows the opening last month of what the administration calls Alligator Alcatraz in the Florida Everglades. That facility has been the subject of legal challenges by attorneys who say the inmates are not given due process and are forced to endure poor living conditions. The centers are part of a broader effort to meet the infrastructure needs of the Trump administration's deportation push. In the Middle East, Egypt says the ball is now in Israel's court after Hamas tentatively agreed to a ceasefire proposal put forward by Arab mediators. But Israel has yet to offer an official response. Hamas and Arab officials say the current deal would involve a 60-day truce, the release of some Israeli hostages and hundreds of Palestinian prisoners, a surge of aid to Gaza, plus talks to permanently end the war. A Qatari official said today the framework is similar to one Israel accepted in the last round of talks involving the U.S.
It is almost identical to what was agreed on previously by the Israeli side. This proposal represents the best possible option to stop the bloodshed of our brothers in the Gaza Strip, especially considering the ongoing military escalation.
In the meantime, hospitals in Gaza recorded 28 fatalities today, including women and children. Some were killed in Israeli strikes and others while seeking aid. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry says more than 62,000 Palestinians have now been killed in the war. Also today, a United Nations report finds that of the record 383 aid workers killed last year worldwide, nearly half were in Gaza. Air Canada says it will gradually restart operations after reaching a deal with 10,000 flight attendants on strike. The agreement will guarantee pay for work done while planes are on the ground, a driving factor behind the walkout. The strike began over the weekend, affecting some 130,000 travelers each day during the peak summer travel season. Overall, nearly 500,000 travelers had their plans disrupted. The airline says flights will resume tonight, though it may take a week or more for service to be fully restored. On Wall Street today, stocks struggled amid a sell-off in big tech stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added just 10 points on the day. The Nasdaq fell more than 300 points. The S&P 500 ended lower for a third straight session. Still to come, on the News Hour, we examine the causes behind stubbornly high beef prices. Russian misinformation finds increasingly sympathetic ears among the religious right in the U.S. And a new biography of legendary author James Baldwin through the lens of love.
This is the PBS NewsHour from the David M. Rubenstein studio at WETA in Washington, and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.
President Trump paints the nation's capital as a city beset by crime, declaring an emergency and calling in National Guard troops under those emergency powers. D.C. leaders contend there is no crisis, pointing to crime rates trending down, now at a 30-year low. Charles Lehman of the conservative Manhattan Institute argues neither side is telling the complete truth. He joins us now to discuss the extent of Washington's challenge with crime and how both the locals and feds could pursue smarter solutions. Charles, welcome to the NewsHour. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me on.
So this D.C. takeover, as you've heard, was justified by the president as a response to crime. From what you've looked at, how you've studied it, in your view, was that takeover justified?
That's a big, complicated question. I think whether or not it's justified comes down to how those resources get used, how MPD, the city's police department, gets used, how the additional federal agents get used. The reality is that there is a history of local federal cooperation on law enforcement issues that have yielded real results. This is obviously a much more aggressive approach on the president's part. That doesn't mean it can't work. The Capitol is ultimately subject to the whims of the federal government in a way that no other city in the United States is. But a lot depends on how the folks at the federal level, and to some extent they're still cooperating entities at the local level, are thinking about where they deploy their resources, where the real problems are, what problems they're trying to solve, and how they cognize success over the next 30 days.
So if you were looking at where some of those troops and forces were deployed, if it was to address crime, where should they be deployed, and is that where they're actually showing up?
The reality is that in every city in the United States, in every city on earth, crime is a highly concentrated phenomenon. That's one of the few iron laws of criminology. In about 10% of the blocks in a city, you'll see about 50% of the crime. And that's true in DC as well. I've done some research that shows more than half of homicides in 2023 were in just two wards, Ward 7, Ward 8. Just 10 blocks, not 10%, just 10 blocks were home to 14% of homicides in that year. So a lot of what the city would like to be able to do, what the federal government ought to be able to do, is to concentrate resources there. There are mixed signals about where we're seeing federal resources. There's obviously a lot of social media footage of agents in strange places, on the National Mall, on U Street. It's a little bit hard to generalize from that. The messaging from the administration is we're taking criminals off the street. Again, it's a little bit hard to get a systematic sense. So, the other question in my mind that isn't well answered is deploying these federal troops in non-major crime areas, freeing up constrained MPD resources to go to those more major crime areas, Ward 7, Ward 8, northeastern DC, areas where you have serious entrenched gang violence problems. I think we have mixed messages about whether that's really happening, and it's a little bit hard to tell in the proverbial fog of war.
I mean, there's also this issue of the statistics themselves, right? You've seen the president call the crime numbers in D.C. fake crime numbers. He said that online. His Department of Justice is now reportedly investigating those numbers. We should point out there was a 2020 lawsuit that was recently settled by D.C. police in which there was a former sergeant who claimed that the MPD, the D.C. police here, misclassified crimes, that districts were competing to get their crime stats down. I guess the question is, are the stats dependable? Is the president right in saying that these crime numbers are fake?
I'm relying here in part on research by a guy named Jeff Asher, who's a crime analyst based out of New Orleans, whose data I and lots of other people go to for this. And he's pointed out that there are some oddities in the data that MPD publishes. They seem to be counting violent crimes differently, i.e. categorizing different things as violent crimes in the data that they publish versus the data that they give to the FBI. And if you look at the FBI's data, they have seen a decline in violent crime, but it is much smaller than the decline that the city's data seems to suggest. That's a discrepancy. It's a reason to sort of question the fervor of city officials when they say we don't have a crime problem. On the other hand, it's a little bit hard to claim some malign cover-up when they're reporting the true numbers to the FBI. And more to the point, it seems like the two consistently really strong indicators in the data, homicide and auto theft, are following the same trends no matter how you look at it. It's also just quite plausible that DC is seeing the same trend that many other big cities are seeing, which is a large and consistent decline in violent crime. So, I think that there are legitimate questions about the magnitude of the drop. I think that the city's strongest claims are probably overstated. I think it is very hard to make the case that the data themselves are less reliable than any other crime number, which are always subject to a variety of caveats.
There's also this issue, of course, of National Guard troop deployment. We're now seeing more Republican governors step up to say that they will be sending their own National Guard troops to D.C. That includes West Virginia, Ohio, South Carolina, Mississippi, Louisiana, and Tennessee. They don't have the same law enforcement authority that local officials do. So what kind of a difference can be made from their deployment when it comes to crime?
But, I think there's a good way to do this and a bad way to do this. And again, the question for me is always, what are the tactics? What's the strategy? How are we thinking about what we know about policing? The bad way to do this is as a show of force. If you put a bunch of National Guard units in low crime areas and you're just sort of trying to show off and say, look at what we can do, it's just a partisan boxing match where the city is being used as the punching bag, to mix my metaphors, that's not a good use of resources. On the other hand, one of the major ways that law enforcement or non-law enforcement officers work is that they're a deterrent. If you put, to use the criminological language, a capable guardian in a place that is otherwise likely to be at risk of crime, you will reduce crime, even if they don't necessarily have the powers of arrest. More importantly, you can use them to free up MPD officers who do have the power of arrest. They're below MPD. The DC Police Department is substantially below historical highs of sworn staffing. They could really use the manpower. And so to me, the question is, are they trying to show off, or are they trying to act as a supplement? Are they trying to give MPD the breather that they need to really go after the major problems? And that's the core decisive factor.
As you've probably seen, the administration is arguing it's already working. The strategy is working. We saw the Attorney General Pam Bondi today online tout the success that they've seen. She said 52 arrests were made last night, including, in her words, an MS-13 gang member. She also claimed that there have been 465 arrests and 68 guns seized since this takeover began. Charles, do those numbers say anything to you? Do they say progress, that this is working?
Look, the reality is you always need more context for a number like that. You think about this, whether it's guns seized or drugs taken off the street or people justly arrested, that's good, that's great. You need to have a sense of where the city was prior to this intervention. And so just sort of giving those raw counts doesn't necessarily paint the full picture. The things that I will be looking at over the next month and next several months is where do the local crime trends seem to be going, and how do they fit against what was happening prior to the intervention. There's a real interesting opportunity here for what social scientists think about as a natural experiment, where there's been a sudden intervention, and we'll be able to compare DC before and after this to other cities to learn about what this intervention did. You're not really going to get that information just looking at raw counts of arrests. To some extent, you can go and talk to people. I expect to be doing that. Other journalists expect to be doing that. See how they're feeling, see what their sense of safety is. But I'll be waiting for more data to really draw a conclusion.
All right. Charles Lehman of the Manhattan Institute, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate your time.
Thanks again.
Beef prices have soared to all-time highs, with many families feeling the squeeze. Economics correspondent Paul Solman looks at the factors driving prices higher.
Got a beef with beef prices? You've got company.
I was looking at the price of a pound of ground beef, and 3 months ago it was $4.99 a pound, and a week ago Saturday it was $7.99 a pound.
And it's not just beef.
It seems lately like every time I go into the store, I have sticker shock. It's alarming to me. I'm almost afraid to go in there what I'm going to find.
Almost 90% of Americans now say they're stressed about grocery prices, which have been up for 3 main reasons.
Because of tariffs, because of weather and climate conditions, because of the labor cost.
And shoppers have been paying more for a number of years.
Since the pandemic, food prices are up over 26%. So we're having sticker shock every time we go to that cash register.
Official grocery prices actually dipped slightly last month. But one food that keeps climbing on a monthly and yearly basis is beef. Ground beef is up 11.5% since just last year.
Ground beef is the highest price that it's ever been. CPI data started being collected in the 1980s. This is the first time it's over $6 a pound. And when we look at beef and veal prices, they're up over 10%.
As of July, beef and veal were up 11.3% over the last 12 months. Why?
It's kind of the age-old economist answer, supply and demand. We're producing less beef. At the same time,
okay, guys,
consumers are demanding beef. We really have had growing demand for beef for a decade.
All right, back to the news. I want to get into the Democrats being held hostage. Texas Democrats.
And now to the latest on the political standoff over redistricting in Texas. Texas Democrats now hinting they could return to Austin soon, but they have several conditions.
Okay.
Marcelino Benito is following all these changing
the Texas
developments
Democrat
in the
situation has
newsroom.
been literally insane.
Well, Lenin Sherman, Texas Dem has made clear this afternoon they have 2 conditions before they come back. Both appear to be happening. Let's break it down for you. Lawmakers want Republicans to adjourn the special session. Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows has indicated he may do just that as early as tomorrow if there's still no quorum.
Keep in mind this video is 4 days old, so a lot of things have changed since this video updated. They did not do that. This is now known to be a lie. This is now known to be a very, very blatant lie. However, let's continue the video.
The second condition involves California. Texas Dems want California to introduce plans to redraw congressional maps in their state. And this afternoon, Governor Gavin Newsom held a press conference laying out his state's plans to also draw new congressional maps to counter Texas's efforts. Take a listen.
So this, on the other hand, hasn't been a lie. Gavin Newsom will probably redraw the maps. Gerrymandering on either side isn't very good, but I don't really like borders regardless. So, like, I think this is a big, this part of the debate is a big kind of nothing burger, but I see it. it's happening with California. They plan on redistricting for the Dems. I really hope Texas does not redistrict, but what we are seeing today and everything, and like yesterday especially, it's not looking optimistic for Texas.
We're asking the voters for their consent to do midterm redistricting in 2026, 2028, and 2030 for the congressional maps, to respond to what's happening in Texas, to respond what Trump is trying to excite.
Texas House Democratic Caucus Chair Gene Wu issued a statement in part saying Trump thought he could easily get his way in Texas with compliant Republicans, but Democrats fought back ferociously and took the fight to Trump across America.
Back ferociously. Look, this has been like the biggest fight we've seen the Dems put up in like a very, very long time, but this still is not the fight that's going to change America. This is very much still baby steps. Whenever it's basically a baby getting beaten and the baby's finally taking his first steps. Like, okay, a baby's getting beaten by a grown-ass man, then the grown-ass man is telling the baby, like, you need to stop fighting back even though it's a fucking baby, and then the baby's taking his first steps. Like, it's still, I don't even know if we could consider this a fight.
America. The fight to protect voting rights has only just begun. Now, it's still unclear what day exactly Dems will return to Texas, but Governor Abbott has indicated he will call another special session right away, and redistricting will remain on that agenda. Back to you.
All right, political drama continues. Thank you, Marcelino.
High drama there. Still ahead.
Governor Hawkins, for purpose.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chairman Hunter, I'm just trying to understand, since I'm a little new to redistricting, when I look at the map, I'm looking at when you look at that, what I call a hodgepodge of 2, 30, 38, 29, 18, all of those. So does that mean that all of those, that little area have all those different congressional people?
Keep in mind this was uploaded by Forbes. Also keep in mind, oh, this one's 3 hours ago. Why are we, like, I know we're now, like, we're calling it out.
I'm not clear
I guess,
on the question.
but, like, we've already been to Illinois for, like, 3 days. Like,
gotcha.
Sure, we can call it out.
This is the current districts. This is the committee substitutes. The red boundaries is the current district.
What are they whispering? What you think they, chat, what you think they whispering? Okay. Best viewers on streamboo.com, I guess. But yeah, chat, what do you think they're whispering? What do you think we got going on in between these two gentlemen right here? I don't know if y'all could really see my mouse that well. What do y'all think the chat's going? Think he's asking if the batteries died on the remote? You think that's the conversation being had?
Is that okay?
Committee substitute. This is.
Oh, I almost flipped my dinner plate. That would have
Gotcha.
been very unfortunate.
All right, thank you. Chairman Hunter, thank you. You don't have to answer my question. And/or interrupt me because my
It's weird trying to find posture for a stream.
Well, I'm
like
glad
sitting up,
he's
sitting
supporting
down,
my
sitting
man.
up. It's like,
Keep talking to
"Ooh,
him."
How do I do this?
Well, I don't think he's supporting your
Oh.
Let's be clear.
Bring this down a little bit more.
I may be new to
It's
this,
decent.
but I'll tell you this, it sure looks fishy to me.
We can skip this video. Let's be real. We can skip this one.
They're back. Texas Democrats have returned after leaving the state and their jobs for 2 weeks to try to stall a vote on redistricting. The House Speaker has now.
Damn, that was a 2-week standoff? Okay, maybe my previous statement was a bit rude. Maybe I could call it a fight. The toddler threw their first swing. This post was 3 hours ago as well.
Now assigned state law enforcement officers to escort Democratic lawmakers over the next 2 days, ensuring they come back to Austin tomorrow for the big redistricting vote. Joining us this morning is Texas GOP Representative Carl Tepper, who was also on the House committee to redraw congressional districts. Good morning to you, sir. Great to see you here on the National News Desk.
Tomorrow, by the way.
Good morning.
Guys,
So the House
be sure
gavelled
to
into
follow
session
so
with
y'all can
enough
catch
members to make that
tomorrow's stream.
quorum and actually get some business done. What'd you make of this 2-week stall that also meant these relief funds were held up for flood victims?
You know, we're a little upset. Obviously, this has been going on a little too long. But on the other hand, sometimes it's just part of the process. You know, the Democrats have to kick and fuss a little bit, but in the end, the results are going to be the same. As a matter of fact, I think we've improved the maps a little bit. What passed last night were the committee substitutes for the maps. That
Am I on like a conservative side feed? I don't like this. Okay, let's
This
go back.
Governor Hawkins for.
And now to the
Let's go
latest
to
on
a
the
different
political
fucking-
standoff over.
Yeah, I want to watch this video.
You have decided
she's talking about
to
one of
stay
the
in
Democrats
there.
being
And
locked
are you
inside of the
locked
fucking
in
state
there? What
capitol.
is do you have to stay in there because you haven't signed this permission slip to have a Texas DPS officer with you 24 hours a day?
Yes, I am here. I did ask DPS if I was free to leave, and I was told I was not free to leave unless I sign the permission slip agreeing to be released into DPS custody so that they can ensure my return on Wednesday so they can have a quorum. Right now,
And are you free to roam the grounds of the Capitol? I mean, can you go to your office?
Are you locked in the Capitol? Yes, I'm locked in the Capitol. I asked if I was free to be released and they told me no. Well, can you explore? Like, well, can you at least play in your cage? Like, what the fuck?
Or do you have to stay in the chamber?
initially I was only allowed to stay within the chamber, but since the first, since the first order, I am allowed to go to my office. So I can go from my office with an escort by the sergeants, and DPS will be outside of my office, and then I can come back down to the floor with an escort from the sergeant's office.
Keep in mind, they are literally holding someone hostage. We are at a point in the United States in current history where we are actively just holding someone fucking hostage because they won't sign a piece of paper in the favor of voting for like Republican. Like, it's all political. It's a political piece of paper that someone's refusing to sign and being held hostage for.
In the Capitol.
And so do you have any plans to go back to your office, or are you just going to stay camped out inside the chamber here?
I mean, I have no plans. Literally, when I woke up this morning, my goal was to come here and fight any type of motion that would change the rules that would harm the Democrats' ability to fight. That was my goal. I know when we got here, the speaker continued the call.
Yeah, why is she speaking in past tense? I know she's still there. I know she's still there as of now, but she's starting to speak in past tense. It's a little scary.
Saying that no member could leave, but unless they signed the permission slip allowing, agreeing to go into DPS custody. So I refused.
Oh yeah, keep in mind, a lot of them have agreed to go into DPS custody, where like a lot of them are just currently being like followed and like fucking like surrounded by police and shit all day long. Like, if y'all didn't think fascism was in the United States, here we are.
I feel like this is another exercise of authority and power over over people of color, over people who resist. You know, the maps are no different. It's a way, these maps that have been requested by Trump and the DC billionaires are a way to have power over those who are smaller, less than them. And this exercise, this requirement that we be trailed by DPS officers who could be out there fighting crime is not only a waste of taxpayer dollars, but it is also offensive to the dignity of each one of us who have been elected by our constituents to come here and fight.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah. Yeah. They're either in Nicole's situation, she is currently being basically held hostage. And other lawmakers are currently being, or I guess Democrats are just currently being fucking like swarmed and followed by the police. And in Texas, it is very much a case of, you know, political pressure, political instigation, political interrogation, political, like, are a lot of things going on right now. Like, she's being held hostage in the Capitol until she signs that piece of paper. We are, what point of America are we in, y'all? Chat, what do y'all, is this fascism? Do y'all define this as fascism, chat? Because I do. This is looking pretty bad.
Now, the other Democrats, everybody else, I believe, signed the permission slip, so they're going to be escorted. But you really felt that strongly that you just wanted to stay inside here and not sign that.
Well, I didn't want to stay. I just refused to go along. I just refused.
This dude kind of seems like he's not on the. He has some interesting questions. His first question was like, "Oh, well, you're locked in a cage. Can you at least play in your cage?" And then the second question has been fucking, like the statement that she's refusing to go along, or like that she's like she just wants to stay. Like, this is just casual.
To agree to their terms. I mean, I have a right to resist. I have a right to oppose, just like my voters do, just like Texans have a right to challenge government. And that's what I'm doing. I'm challenging these decisions that are being made. I don't agree with them. And this is the peaceful way that I am expressing it.
And so what do you say to any Republicans who say, look, you wouldn't have to go through this if you had showed up for, you know, in the first place?
Yeah, I think this guy might be leaning a little conservative.
Well, they started it. They started the action when they agreed to do what Trump has asked them to do, and that's to take 5 seats away from the current Congress people. My congressman, Mark Vesey, is set to lose his seat in Tarrant County. We may lose 2 seats that have traditionally been held by Black people, so that Trump can get what he wants. So Trump is taking these seats at the cost of Black and brown people. And so
Yes. Which, once again, we are seeing Trump be blatantly racist. We are seeing him take, like what she's saying there, he's actively hunting the seats of Black and brown people. He's actively trying to, as of today, attack the Smithsonian and other museums over their depiction of slavery. He is currently pushing PragerU, which PragerU is currently pushing. That clip's gone viral recently of Christopher Columbus sitting there going, "Oh, but wouldn't they rather be slaves than murdered?" or some shit like that. I forgot the exact clip. Like, we're here. We're here. It's fascist. It's Big Brother's also, like, yeah. Welcome to America, y'all.
My position is that I'm here resisting and refusing to do what they tell us to do just because they have the upper hand. They have the power.
The House Redistricting Committee has now passed the maps, the new congressional maps that will give Republicans 5 new majority seats. It could come to the House floor on Wednesday at the earliest. So how big of a floor fight do you expect there to be?
A good question. I mean, fingers crossed. I'm optimistic. I mean, I'm not optimistic. I don't think that the Democrats are going to be able to fight hard enough in this seat, especially in Texas. This is the belly of the beast as far as conservatism. Like, we are very much one of the worst states as far as, like, conservatism. Like, we have the Joe Rogan experience. We had fucking Alex Jones for the longest time sitting there going, "Well, chemicals in the water make the freaking frogs get-" Like, we had that guy. Like, you know, well, like, we're here, like, you know.
Well, I got nothing but time. I'm going to be here. I'll be prepared. I have asked the chair of the House Democratic Caucus to join me. He is here, And we will be working together, all of us, all the Democrats will be working together to get that legal
Damn, her
record
camera's cutty.
set so that we can take this fight to the
That
courts.
shit's
You know, we worked
crazy as
hard to
hell.
make sure that we gained the support of California, and the Governor Newsom has agreed to bring up his body to have a temporary hold on their independent commission so that they can pass different maps and that would neutralize what Texas is
Trying to find
doing.
my position so
And
fucking
so
weird.
it's important that we continue to raise
I don't like
awareness and fight
this.
and resist
This ain't bad.
in ways that
As long as my
show
audio.
that we
Yeah,
will
my audio's
not
good.
be bullied. We will not be pushovers. We are here to fight, and I am proud of the work that we've done as Democrats to make that known.
I mean, this is the first fight we've seen them really give in a long time. So, I mean, we can give them the round of applause for that, but we also, more needs to be done. Significantly more needs to be done.
I know when I spoke with Chairman Wu earlier, he said that, you know, they want to get these maps in front of the U.S. Supreme Court as soon as possible, because after a certain point in time, they will not look.
Yeah, but the U.S. Supreme Court is like in Trump's pocket right now. Like, we are seeing them actively vote against like different things. Like, sure, we've had a few times where they voted against Trump, but most of the time what Trump says goes for the Supreme Court. So like, it's not looking like, it looks like Trump's just kind of getting his way right now. He's kind of just stomping through.
Look at changing the maps if it's really close to the election. And the problem for the Democrats is that these maps and ballots need to be in place by mid-January for the March 3rd primary. So talk to me a little bit about how concerned you are about the timing.
Well, I wasn't, my understanding is that they need the maps, well, the legal battle starts right away. You know, the concern is
Exactly. Legally, the battle starts right away. As soon as they say fuck you to the Democrats, they're gonna at least start a legal battle. But whenever Trump is, like I said previously, that he has the Supreme Court in his pocket, but he also has most like state judges, stuff like that. A lot of them are in his pocket as well, to where the legal battle is not going to be an easy one for them to fight. They need to find the correct people to fight, and right now they are not looking like they are finding the correct people.
that the court won't take them up once the process for filing starts. So, you know, you can file to be on the ballot in November. So we want to make sure that we challenge them before November of this year. We're not looking to wait till January. We're not risking that. We want to continue the fight immediately. And this is the way that we do it. And of course, they have shown us what their priority is. It's not the people of Texas, because if it was, we would be taking up flood relief and protection.
Yeah, keep in mind, chat, keep in mind, while like we are like in this current state of media, we have had so much shit going on. For example, I'm in Texas. Like, that's pretty apparent. Like, I guess not for my first stream, but I'm in Texas. And for a lot of what, like, people at this point in media, if you're keeping up with the news, if you're keeping up with headlines and everything, I damn near forgot we flooded. I forgot that we had that flood. There's so much shit going on. Like, it is like insane, the amount of news, the amount of like politics that are just like the amount of just fascism that's keeping coverage that, like, yeah, they completely ignored us getting flooded. There were multiple deaths, multiple children deaths. Like, I believe it was a like children's camp or like something like that. Multiple deaths, multiple children deaths, multiple like it was very sad, and they did not care to the extent where they did not respond. I believe a lot of Texas conservatives, or like a lot of the Texas lawmakers and like politicians, didn't go to the funerals for a lot of these people. A lot of them didn't make any statement, stuff like that. Like, incredibly embarrassing to see. And yeah, it's just, yeah, let's let her keep going.
For the campers and for those who have suffered such tragic losses, we would be doing that instead of taking up redistricting and taking up rigging our elections and silencing the voices of Black and brown Texans. If that was truly their intent, that would be first. but we know what their intent is, and that's to silence Black and brown voters.
And let me ask you about potential penalties that House Democrats may face beyond the daily fines, beyond the costs of Texas DPS going out and searching for Democrats across the state. Some Republicans.
Yeah, they also did a manhunt. They also had DPS do a manhunt for these Democrats. Like literally go have DPS going across the state looking for them.
I spoke with said they really want to see Democrats lose their vice chairmanships of committees, lose their chairmanships of subcommittees, lose their seniority. What do you say to that?
Look, I don't have any of that. I have nothing to lose. All I am here to do is fight for my constituents. Even if I had that, again, I would put it all on the line to make sure that I take a stand. You know, they will do whatever they want to do because they have the numbers. But that doesn't mean that I have to go down, just willingly lay down for that. I can still fight. I will go down swinging, and that's what I continue to do.
Democratic State Representative Nicole Collier of Fort Worth, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jack.
I think she had the correct answer there, but I think that dude asked a very pressing question as far as like, you know, the Republicans are currently pushing to have their seniority removed. They're currently pushing to have their rights, like a lot of their position removed, a lot of their power removed. So his question was basically, what is your plan? And she's basically like, I'm gonna keep fighting, but essentially I'm just sitting here. Which unfortunately is kind of the case with a lot of the Democrats right now. Like, we need more. We need more. And it looks like the Democratic Party is just more and more being proven to just simply not be the answer. And it's very, very, very sad. Let's keep going. I really want to keep covering the Texas Democrats, though. Let's see. Yeah.
Democratic lawmakers are back in Texas, but Representative Nicole Collier spent the night on the floor of the state house. She refused a Republican demand to have a state law enforcement
she legitimately spent the night in the state capitol
in order to leave
because she wouldn't sign a piece of paper. They held her hostage overnight because she would not sign a piece of paper.
The permission slip to be able to leave the Capitol. I disagree with that authoritarian tactic.
This is authoritarianism. We are very much in fascism, authoritarianism. We, like I said with that previous video we saw earlier, it was very Big Brother-esque. The dude was literally saying, I am not this, whenever the like Media Acre was like, no, we've seen this, this, and this, you are proven to be this, and he was like, no, that's not the case. And he's like, no, you it's on paper, you voted for this. And he was like, no. Like, we've seen it before and we're continuing to see this. We are in fascism. Like, welcome to America. We are in fascism.
Two other Democrats joined her in the House overnight. Republicans now appear to have a clear path to a redistricting plan that could bring them 5 more seats in Congress. And in less than 2 hours from now, California's House will reconvene after it began a redistricting plan of its own. Let's go live now to CNN correspondent Arlette Saenz in Austin. Arlette, do the Democrats have any moves left to block or delay the Republican plan?
Well, Pamela, there really is not much that Democrats can do at this moment to block these new congressional maps from moving forward in Texas. They used up their ability to delay the proceedings when they had that quorum break. But now, with the necessary Democrats returning to the Capitol, this map appears to be on a glide path to passage potentially as soon as this week. Now,
yeah, it's very important to keep in mind. They are using their power. They are manhunting these Democrats. They are forcing them to sleep in the fucking Capitol. And they're trying to get it to pass by the end of this week. So I will be covering this. This will be something that if you follow, you'll be seeing coverage of extensively. This is fascism. This is authoritarianism. This is the conservative Republicans using their powers, like trying to completely remove black and brown communities from having any say in the Texas having any say in the Texas politics. It's sad.
Now, just down the hall from where we are is the House chamber, where State Representative Nicole Collier is having this sign of protest by refusing to comply with the order that would require these House Democrats to have 24/7 law enforcement escorts if they are to leave at the Capitol. She's been on the House floor for nearly 21 hours at this point, saying that she won't agree to that order. But even as
Yeah, they're being forced to sign a piece of paper saying, yeah, 24/7 surveillance. We're there. We're there, chat.
there's this sign of protest, it's not going to change the calculus about these maps here in Texas. What Texas Democrats say they're now going to do is turn their attention to making the legal arguments, so with the hope that the courts will eventually step in and prevent these congressional maps from going into effect. Of course, just to recap, Republicans are trying to pick up as many as 5 U.S. House seats by redrawing these maps. And they could be considered on the House floor as soon as tomorrow. We will get a little bit more guidance on that in the coming hours. Meanwhile, over in California, the committees will begin meeting to consider their congressional map push to try to pick up 5 Democratic House seats. That could potentially pass by the end of this week. In California, though, the voters will eventually have to weigh in to approve this. So a lot at stake in this moment.
A lot. Very much a lot at stake at this moment. It's fascism. We are seeing it. We're seeing California, albeit they're not doing fascism, but they're trying to counteract the fascism in their own sense, albeit I don't believe that the way they're handling it is exactly correct. I believe that any fight at this point is fucking better than like what we've been seeing. So yeah, we're seeing California fight. We're seeing Miss Nicole here fight. We're seeing a lot here. We're seeing a lot. It's like I said, we're watching history. Albeit this isn't the fight that I think is going to win in our favor. But I think it's the fight that is going to be essentially the sparks of change, as far as like the big like politicians actually starting to step up and say some shit, do some shit, actually like change the system. This might be the sparks of it, and that's all I'm gonna say as far as that. I don't want to say too much or be too optimistic here, but yeah. We're seeing history, we're watching history, and yeah, that's about it.
Moment in both Texas and California and the nation at large when you think about the potential makeup of the U.S. House if these maps are able to go into effect.
All right, Arlette Saenz, thanks so much.
New. Okay. Oh, some more Democrats are starting to join.
Well, right now at the Texas Capitol, Texas House Democrats are staging a new type of protest.
Yeah, State Representative Collier, a Fort Worth Democrat, spent the night on the House floor after refusing to sign a document requiring a police escort in order to leave the building.
Yeah, and now a number of her colleagues are joining her.
Who's ready to tear up this slip? Let's go.
About 30 minutes ago, several Democrats ripped the slip, the permission slips they need to leave.
So we're actually starting to see a more substantial fight, at least here in Texas. We might actually see something. This might be some substantial change, and I'm very, very optimistic about it. Let's continue the video, but yes, this is actually starting to look more like a fight that might actually result in something. So let's keep watching.
Leave the chamber. The House of Representatives remains under a call, which means the doors are locked. It is in response to the Democrats breaking quorum to block a vote on a bill to redraw the congressional district map. All members need written permission from the speaker to leave the chamber, all of them. And the Democrats who broke quorum had to also agree to have a DPS escort to ensure they come back. State Representative Nicole Collier from Fort Worth refused to sign one of those slips and instead stayed in the House overnight and all day today. She says she has no intention of backing down. House Democrats have set up a live stream on social media where the public can watch Collier on the House floor. This, in fact, is how she slept last night, making
Yeah, keep in mind she slept. I don't want this to be ignored by any of the chat. She slept in the fucking state capitol last night. She's literally held hostage. She is in a fucking cage right now. And yeah, this shit's as it should be national news, but the fact that this isn't an actual call to action or anything I mean, it is a call to action. There's been multiple protests going on, especially here in Austin. So there's been things, but we need change, man.
a bed out of 2 desk chairs. Now, she can either stay on the House floor or she can be escorted by DPS to her office at the Capitol.
House Speaker Dustin Burrows says the DPS monitoring is necessary to ensure the Democrats don't leave the state again and prevent a quorum on Wednesday when they are set to vote on the bill to redraw the congressional district.
Hi, Ted Cruz can go fucking play golf in fucking Florida, and so could Trump. Whenever there's a vote, why can't Debs go to fucking Chicago? What's that about?
Map. The Democrats who ripped their slips are now staying on the floor with Collier. They say that this is all a misuse of state resources.
Law enforcement should be protecting Texans from the real dangers, not surveilling state legislators. Texans deserve better.
Earlier today, KVUE caught up with Representative Collier. She said she will not submit to what she called intimidation tactics.
You have to be comfortable with opposing your government because that's one of our rights. And if we
That's important to keep in mind. It is one of our rights. We have the right to be vocal and to speak out against our government. However, that is being challenged by the conservatives, the Republicans right now. They're currently trying to stop that. We are currently in a time where they're currently trying to enforce basically making America seem like a righteous country whenever we are very far from righteous. So yeah, it's very historic what we're watching right now.
we don't start doing that, we won't have any rights to protect. So right now, in this moment, we have to say no, we have to push back. And this is my way of pushing back.
Representative Collier says she and her colleagues have been using this time to figure out how they plan to continue to fight against that proposed congressional map. The full House is expected to debate the map. It's House Bill 4 tomorrow when they gavel in at 10 a.m.
Okay. I think I'm gonna watch one more video on the Texas Democrat situation, and then we're gonna switch over to a little bit of gaming since I am honestly finding a hard time keeping up with everything. Oh.
Let them out! Let them out! Let them out!
Okay.
Them out! Let them out! Let
We have some protesting going on. Oh yeah.
Let them out! Let them out!
That's always good to see.
Let them out!
PDS.
The Texas state legislature just got turned into a prison, and its own lawmakers are the inmates.
I spoke with District 27 Representative Ron Reynolds about the redistricting bill and the effect it will have on Texas voters.
It specifically targets African American and Latino communities and what we call packing and cracking. That means we're putting many of them in one area and then we're breaking the other ones up into different areas so that they dilute their voting strength and the ability to elect a candidate of their choice.
Political science.
Exactly. I'm hoping that was a Democrat and not a Republican just taking the mask off, but yeah, that's what we're seing.
Professor Dr. Mark Jones sheds some light on the historical precedents of the situation and how he believes it will develop going forward.
What is the definition of gerrymandering, and how does this term play into the situation at hand?
Gerrymandering is whenever you draw the districts to obtain some type of goal. Partisan gerrymandering is when you draw the districts with the goal of benefiting one party and hurting another party.
Many of the Democrats who are seeking refuge in liberal states like Illinois and New York are critical that Governor Greg Abbott is prioritizing this redistricting bill over legislation to provide flood relief.
Why wouldn't Governor Abbott, when there's such a crisis where you had over 130
flood relief? Governor Greg Abbott is prioritizing this redistricting bill over legislation to provide flood relief.
Why wouldn't Governor Abbott, when there's such a crisis where you had over 100?
God, dude, it's so fucking strange.
Legislation
Like
to provide
Trump's
flood
actively
relief.
allowing these people to flood to death, and yet we have these floods with the Trump flag. Like these,
many of them
we're
were
in a
children,
very,
precious little
very
girls
ignorant
that died.
time.
Why would you not prioritize this when you had the ability to do it?
Additionally, many Democrats are upset that the redistricting bill was proposed 5 years early, a violation of tradition.
This is a good example of a norm that used to guide politics in the United States being broken, and that is that you engaged in redistricting only once every 10 years, not whenever you felt you could gain a partisan advantage from doing so.
Yeah, essentially, we're in a state of fascism, authoritarianism. It fucks off my fucking screen.
I spoke with.
But yeah, long story short, we're in a state of fascism. We're in a state of authoritarianism, very much so. Big Brother is very much pushing their pressure on us, essentially. We are seeing, thankfully, a bit more of a fight with California, and then, like I said, the escalation today in Texas, like a few minutes ago or about an hour ago, where they tore their, like, a bit more of the Democratic legislators tore their agreement. So that we're starting to see a fight, but we need so much more. We need significantly more in order to see an actual change in this country, in order to see the actual change that we need for many Americans, so many Americans. Like a lot of the Democratic legislators were saying, a lot of the Black and Latino communities, a lot of the ethnic communities are going to be affected by this, and it's something that's very much just blatant, like racism, blatant, white supremacy, blatant just trying to push the fucking fascism bill. And yeah, we're there. We are in fascism. Like Big Brother is very much here. And yeah, that's about it. So okay. So now now that I've covered the news for a couple of hours, I got to talk about some of the stuff that I really wanted to talk about, such as like the stuff going on in Palestine, in addition to a lot of the Democratic legislations here in Texas. Let's get over to the other part of the content that I want to cover, which is my gaming stuff. I'm not crazy about it or anything. It's not like my lifestyle or anything, but as far as content, I really want to get some content where I, can just kind of get to meet you guys while I'm playing a more chill game, something I guess not a Minecraft, but I'm currently updating TFT. I think it's updating. Unfortunately, I did not prepare very much for this stream, but yeah, I am gonna load up TFT, and for at least the next couple of hours, we're gonna play 3-4 games, and then yeah, I'll call it after that. But yeah. Historically, is it gonna be the case, by the way, chat? I plan on being way more scheduled and way more organized with all this. This is... Oh! Did I forget my password? Oh wait, no, it's my old username. Forgive me for a cringe username. We're in, guys. We're in. I guess I should probably change the titles of my streams. Can I do that from here? I'm letting it load, chat. Everything's loading, chat. Give it a sec. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's a little bit mismanaged. CC immune. Yep, we're updating. So chat, we're gonna be updating for a sec while I update some of this. Waiting on this to load. I don't know why it's not loading for me, which is unfortunate. Oh, is OBS in oh, please don't tell me OBS is crashing. That would be very unfortunate. I have 13k blue essence. When that happened? When can I switch the title? Oh, it's not loading. Give me a sec, chat. Give me a sec. It's updating, and then in addition, my OBS might be fucking crashing. I should probably... That's something I can do real fast. I can check my YouTube and see if it's crashing. Here, let's look at my stream real quick. Let's see, am I still live? Channel. No, tell me if I'm live. The fuck? Oh, have I not been live on Twitch? Have I not been live on Twitch? Oh wait, it says I'm live. Okay, cool. Cool. We're good. So Twitch is still live. Is YouTube still live? Let's look at my channel. Oh man. Am I not live right now? Reload. I'm gonna be really sad if I haven't been streaming on YouTube. It doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me. It's so strange. Have I not been streaming on YouTube? That's gonna be so frustrating. I've been streaming on Twitch, which I guess that's been something. I'll just wait until after my stream's over to worry about that, because I really can't afford to sit here and like look for all that. So TFT. What? How do I full screen it? It won't let me full screen? Okay. I'm sorry, chat. It's not letting me. It's not letting me full screen. Damn. So. Damn. I wonder if it'll full screen when I start the match, like how League does. Well, we'll check. Currently Silver 3. We're not the greatest. I really hope my shit isn't crashing. Oh, that's really cringe. Oh, it's not letting me change the title. We go full screen. Do we go full screen? Let us go full screen. Sorry, chat. I just didn't. Yeah. Oh, it took over the other screen. Oh, that's not good. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, chat. I can fix this. Give me a second. Okay. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. Now, will it let me full screen? Oh. There we go. We can get this. We can get this sorted out. Okay. 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 Let's do. I feel like Mighty Mac feels like the play right now. Wow, y'all. That was scary. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to do y'all like that. Star Guardian's cool. Do I have any other Mighty Max right now? No. Mighty Mac. There we go. Damn it. I'll still be fine, but okay. Every time you level up, yeah. Okay. I think I got it sorted out. I'm sorry, y'all. That was scary. Wait, where's my Lucian? Oh, did I sell my Lucian? Oh, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. Oh. I sold my Lucian. Damn. And I didn't level up. Double down. Oh, it's already not looking like a good start. I accidentally sold my Lucian instantly, damn. Or did I not buy him? I'll have to look back. Oh shit. We win this one, okay. We take those. Do I get a Lucian? No. Give me a Lucian. I just need a Lucian. There we go. And now I can't level up, so close enough. I low-key like the leveled up Lucian, but I don't want to do that. Let's see. Let's do that. See how this goes. Because I'm thinking with Mighty Mech we'll be fine. Right now a lot of people are competing for certain champs like Wraith. Looks like I'm competing a little bit for Gangplank. Or I guess some Mighty Mech too. Looks like there's someone fighting for a Atriox. Oh god, Lucian kind of sucks with no items. Yeah, that sucks. Leveled up though, finally. Oh. Damn. Leveled up, but I can't put him down yet. Let's put this. Ooh, leveling up Lucian would be kind of. Ooh. Wrong level up. Oh. Okay, got it. Okay, I need to focus on getting some fucking cash in my fucking thing. Speaking of cash, subscribe. Damn, I need this to load. Let's see. Lucian. This. Oh, that's kind of lame. I grabbed the wrong thing, I think. But it's 3 gold. So whatever. Okay. Looks like we're not doing the worst. Oh, I gotta wait for level 4s, or 4 stars, which are not 4 stars. Fucking, are they called level 4s? Or I guess 4 cost, that's the right word. Sorry, brain mass. Okay. Yeah, I can stay like that for a sec. Ugh. So far, so good. Not doing the worst. 2nd place. Wasn't even really paying attention to that. We're chilling though. fact, we got 2 Sennas already is nice. The chance of a 2-star Senna really early on is going to be really good for us. And this placement's really nice. We win this. That's crazy. Very good for us. Let's do it like that. Kind of like that. My mouse is laggy as hell. I don't know if y'all are noticing. It's not the stream fucking up. It's my mouse. Do I want to go through for a 3-star cannon? Kinda. Cool. Another cannon. Okay, 3-star cannon's an option now. Ooh, I can also... Okay, I'm gonna put a Spirit Shojin on my Senna. I can do that right now. No. Not gonna go for a 3-star Gangplank. Nope. Yes. 3-star Senna acquired. We're gonna put that like that. Cool. Okay. I think we're gonna be on a bit of a winning streak for a sec while I get my gold up. Oh, I also need to put that, I'm gonna make a, what's it called, and put it on the, fuck, I forgot the name of everything. Brain masses, am I right? Ramble vest, there we go. Gain a copy of each one cost. I have 3 one cost, so kind of worth. Put this on him. So we're at 30. Let's go. We're getting our gold up slowly but surely. Yeah, I got a good setup right now. We're chilling. Yep. Yeah, might as well go for a 3-star cannon. Oh, that works out. Need to sell silver anyway. So we're 2 away from 3-star Aatrox and 3-star cannon, which cannon's not going to be as important as the Aatrox, but the Aatrox is nice 3-star, especially with the item that I have. I don't know if I'm winning this one. Level 6 already. No, they're all 1-star. We're chilling. Yeah, I think I'm chilling. That's crazy. The upgraded red buff. Okay. Chill harder. Karma would be fucking nice. I don't know if I'm getting karma though. Nope. There goes karma. At least I get 3 gold and a tier, so that's not bad. Ooh, 1 cannon away. I'll go for a 3-star Kaisa. I don't know if I'm gonna get it, but I'll go for it. Fuck it. Why not? Ah, 3-star Lucian might be out the window though. Especially with me aiming to level up. I don't know. Wait, is my mic not picking up? Oh, I really hope my mic's picking shit up. Oh, if my OBS crashed like that, that's gonna be unfortunate. Am I live? Am I live? Okay. Let's look. Oh, accidentally. I mean, not the worst, but. Ooh. Ooh. That's good. It's not bad. Okay, we're good. Oh, and a Darius. Actually pretty good. Let's see if I can hear myself. Pretty good. Let's see if I can hear myself. Okay, my audio's not fucked. Okay. That's all that mattered for me. All that really matters for me right now. Okay. Okay, we're chilling. Tears of a Goddess is nice. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. What else can I do? Kind of want to do this. I don't want to do the no. Yes. I'll just be spamming. Yeah. Guess it works. Fuck it. I haven't got a sword yet, so might as well. Overheal. I'm gonna spend the 4 gold. Okay. Oh, I hope I get a karma. Karma would be nice. Nope. I'm not going for 3-star gangplank. Ooh. I'll take that. That's a good option. And this. Wow. That was crazy. Got the 5-star. Damn. Got a 5-star that I'm looking for at 1%, which is fucking crazy. Kind of. I guess not. Okay. Let's go for the IE. Yep. Okay. Aw, I should have went for the set side of the IE. Meet Mac, 2 more. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Damn. Okay. Hoping top 4. Let's get. Well, now they're on a winning streak, so probably top 4. Top 4, not too bad. I'll take top 4. Yeah, not the worst. Who am I fighting? Either number 3 or number 5. Okay. Number 5, which is honestly better for me. Damn, they have 1 stars. Damn. Okay. Okay. And then I get items next round, which, yeah. Dang. That's good. That's also pretty decent. I don't really need either of these guys. Put him over here.
I'm not here to make friends.
Kinda wanna... Nah, that's not smart. There's Jarvan. Ooh, but there's also a Kali. Kaisa. Arma. Okay. And now we're in top 4. And damn. I still lost that. Dang. Okay. I just gotta have my fingers crossed right now. Damn. Well, at least be top 3. Looks like it. Can I get a Jarvan? No, unfortunately. But that's... I kind of like this on Karma. Let's see. I'll lock it for the Mighty Mech Lucian. Damn. Okay. Mighty Mac. Damn, and then they give me nothing. Holy shit. Okay, there's that. Fuck Lucian. Fuck Kaisa as well. That might give me a shot. I doubt it. This might be the last round that I got. Okay, so we get top 3.
I'll get us through this.
Dang. Nope. Gotta kind of hope this is the... Oh wait, never mind. We got one more round in us. At least. Hopefully there's more. But I think this might be our last round we got in us. Unless we get a duplicate. Oh, that's nice. Ooh. Do I survive? Oh, my OBS is just straight up frozen. Damn. I can't see how long my stream's going. Oh, do I win this? No, fuck. Damn, 3rd place. Okay. It's not the worst, I guess. Fuck. I think I have 1 or 2 more games in me. And then that'll be it for my first stream. Be about 4 hours. Be pretty good. Looks like it's about to rain its ass off. Sorry, there's a little fly. What was that? Get leaked for the next TFT preview. Oh, that's so annoying. There's a little fly. Got it. No, I didn't. Why is it showing me? Why isn't it like, huh? That's frustrating. It's not letting me show the top part of TFT, the fuck? So much is going on that I am confused about. Why is everything bugging? I'll fix it once once this thing loads up. If it loads up, I fucking hope this shit loads up. Kinda wanna go Battle Academia. Yumi's really fun. Okay, I fixed it. That's weird. Fixed it fucking enough, I guess. Okay, we go. Huh. Luchador Battle Academia kind of sounds fun. Neither of these are Battle Academia, which isn't as fun. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but we're doing it. Okay, we got a Battle Academia, which is nice. I guess now we aim for Luchador. Oh. What's pressing? What am I pressing? Okay. Get that on a little bit. That was a good shot. All things considered, pretty good shot. Oh, it's so annoying. This little fly has some life in it. And it keeps wanting to join, like, get in my fucking mic for some reason. Oh, that's annoying. Got Luchador down. Ooh. That's nice. Katarina. He threw his fucking chair at him. Alright. If it works, it works. I think Caitlyn, that'll be nice. I need to stop talking. Hell yeah. And now we just let our gold go up. Yeah, so far so good. Top one. About as good as I can be doing right now. We'll go for a 3-star Gnar. My bad, chat, if that blasted y'all's ears. Oh, stop that one. Probably shouldn't have, but I did it. Okay. Just kind of chilling. Would like to get a recon soon. It's the main goal. First loss. At least in a little while. Not even close. Oh, please let me get the Yuumi. Please let me get the Yuumi. I truly just need to stop talking. Is not bad. Seller and then give Ezreal the fucking Kraken Slayer. Okay, not the end of the world. Damn. That Jace would have been nice. Not top one for too long, huh? Damn. Yeah, this ain't going great. This is not going great. Give up on that to do that. Give me the fucking Ezreal. Give me the Ezreal. Give me. Really? Damn. Damn. That's really fucking unfortunate. Oh. Alright. After that game, this will be my last one. I have one more in me. I'm hoping I can return my my glory after that fucking decimation. Let's get into it. I hate how it does this. And then it lags. Oh. And now, okay. Oh, okay. Now it's not windowed, I guess. Okay. Or I guess it is still windowed. I don't know. Am I not able? I wasn't able to move my guy. What the fuck? Okay, yeah. There we go. Oh, why is my oh. I don't know if you hear me, but I'm clicking my shit. It's unplug and replug and oh. Oh. Oh, guys. Well, on that note, it's not even letting me fucking leave the game. There we go. Okay, guys. Well, I am very sorry, but on that note, I do think I'm gonna call it. That was very frustrating. 8th place, and then immediately after, my shit just not working. Alright, y'all, I think I'm gonna call it. This should end it. If not, I'm sorry, but yeah, thank you so much. I'm gonna be streaming again around the same time. I think I'm gonna try to keep it from 4 to like anywhere from 7 to like 9, I think is a fair estimate. So this is a good time window, a little bit of an earlier stream or a little bit of a shorter stream.